Hi, welcome to Inspired Action Life Podcast. I'm your host, Karen Baldridge, and this show is for people who are navigating change, whether it's midlife or any other type of transition. It could be a shift in your career, your relationship, identity, or that internal knowing that the old way of living just isn't quite fitting anymore. I'm the founder of a women's event company, and this podcast is basically an extension of the conversations that I've had with many women so some episodes are just solo reflections and some are including guests and their stories. Everything here is meant to help you feel more seen and visible and confident as you move into that next chapter of your life. Inspired Action Life. Grounded conversations for life's in-between seasons. Hey everybody, I just wanted to hop on here because I've been a little spotty with my presence on Instagram. Had some things going on in the background that have kept me busy and all good stuff, both personal and business. But I just wanted to share with you some ahas and some big, what should have been revelations a long time ago, but for whatever reason, they're just kind of surfacing now. And I'm just coming out of the gym, and for whatever reason, I always have my biggest ahas when I'm working out. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm one of the weird people who have earbuds in, but I'm not even listening to anything. I'm just kind of alone with my thoughts, especially when I'm doing any kind of cardio. So there's just some interesting things, conversations and things that I have wanted to share with you. And I'm going to do a podcast about them because so many of them are so good. I just feel like someone else could benefit. So for starters, obviously a lot of my conversations that I've had in little micro meetings and connections at networking events that I've had a lot of them have been centered around human design and just some offline conversations I've had with people who I admire, who are former coaches of mine and leaders that I respect. And we've talked a little bit about what's going on in their life and how it matched up so wildly with their human design. And I just find that so fascinating that once again, human design has remained undefeated. It is almost like forecasted what their path is going to be before it has even happened. But I can look back at it retroactively and it matches up almost every time. So that is so encouraging. Do you know what your human design is? Because it's crazy. So that kind of quietly keeps me busy, and I'll be having 2 upcoming speaking engagements about finding your success through human design, because I'm telling you, it has a life of its own. I'm not the world's greatest marketer, and I'm certainly no good at sales, but somehow this information is resonant enough that it finds me. But besides that, just life in general, I don't know. I've just been pondering a lot that sometimes I go quiet and I don't know why. And sometimes I look around and it seems like people are just running circles around everything that I'm doing. But I feel like I'm slogging through like a swamp, it's just not connecting. And for me, and I know a lot of you have probably heard oh, this is the year of the fire horse where all the action is going to happen and everyone is going to be moving like double speed. And we're coming into Pisces season and all of these types of things that maybe you don't know. But whether you do or don't know anything about that type of thing, I have just found myself looking around and trying to compare, because now I've seen a lot of, and this will tie back to human design as well, I've seen a lot of people's charts now, lots of them, and I can kind of compare it to how they operate in their goals and their life and their relationships versus other ones. So for reference, I have a chart that is what they would call practically wide open. I don't have any defined centers, which means I'm a giant sponge of other people's energy. So whether it's good or bad energy, I drink it in like I'm the thirstiest girl on earth. So whether I want to or not. So my life journey has been to learn how to not drink in everybody else's energy and carry it around. But also I can gain good things from their energy as well. So it's kind of a, however you look at it and whatever skills you got cut off. I might benefit from your skills temporarily while you're in my presence because energetically you're exchanging that energy with me. But if you have a problem, chances are I'll worry about it more than you will. I'll carry it right along with me until I've learned now to kind of empty that out. Also, what's interesting is if you look up at the top of your chart, there's those arrows. Those are always some of my favorite things. I don't know why, but for me, they've been so informative. But I have what they would call 4 right arrows up at the top, meaning that I am fully feminine energy, meaning that I am supposed to be more in flow, intuitive, not always busy, acting. And it always has made me feel bad when I'm around people who take so much action and are always going and you know, just knocking this out and knocking that out. And I just am not like that. And I cannot make myself be like that. And I was like, geez, am I like ADD or something? And I'm not saying I may not be. I might be a little but at the end of the day, what I finally kind of pulled together is that we all operate, and our life unfolds at different speeds on purpose. So the way my chart is set up, just for context again, is I'm not like built for consecutive action and for constant action and to always be in motion. And so it has always, of course, made me feel bad again when I see other people who are always taking action and I'm not. But really, I'm set up for aligned action. I'm set up to receive the right opportunities when I am in alignment, okay? Everyone can receive their right opportunities too. I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm just saying when I'm in alignment, that is when my best and most highest good things drop in for me. But when I'm busy over-efforting, that's never going to work for me. And finally, so life unfolds for us at different times. And then if you want to get even more specific, not only am I supposed to be like in feminine energy, which, like, spoiler alert, I've never acted that way. I have always acted more in my, like, what they would call like a masculine energy. Go. Keep moving forward. Goals, and setting it up. And always wondering why I felt so frustrated by it. Or like I would do what the book, The Big Leap, is called, like upper limiting. I would hit my upper limit and then I couldn't go any further. Well, no wonder. I have been acting completely out of alignment this entire time without even realizing it, thinking that I'm doing all I can and like things will work out. And they will, except that I wasn't doing it the right way. Or at least for my alignment, I wasn't doing it the right way. So I just thought that was so interesting, and it's so confirming. And all the people that I've talked to about their charts, it's so confirming for them when I And lastly, on your chart, well, there's so much more, of course. This is so deep, but your gates make a big difference on how your life plays out and how you learn and how you grow and what it takes for you to get to that next level of your growth. For instance, those of you, look on your chart, if you have a gate 6 or 36, I'm telling ya, it's rough. It's rough out there for us 6 and 36s. I have both. In fact, they're part of what they would call my right angle cross, your purpose for your life. Meaning that I have to learn through failure. Yeah, learn through failure. I have to learn through a little bit of chaos, and how funny that my friends used to call me, and probably still do, Calamity, of all names, Karen. Anyway, that name alone, did I have a mark on me or what? It's so dumb. It's like so dumb. That makes me so mad. But anyway, I was supposed to learn through chaos and through, kind of explosions here and there. So once I kind of put all of that together and kind of looked at the totality of my life, it really sort of helped me put things in perspective for me. Because once somebody with those gates, all my makeup, all my right arrows, all my open centers, I mean, Lord, I have had some obstacles. But that was all part of it. And I even have a 3 profile. All y'all, anybody who knows, human design, 3. So I think that God really thought I had a lot of resilience, and he gave me a lot of strength. And that was another thing, by the way, that also has really cemented over these past few months, is kind of like my relationship with God, and kind of understanding, like, wait a minute, why am I having all of this freaking chaos when I keep trying to do the right things, but yet there's like all these small t or small c chaos things going on. So that has really been part of the process too. I think that, when you get to like your late 40s and hit into midlife, they always say there's the, what is it, like the big Saturn return or something like that, if you know anything, which I didn't, of course, I knew nothing about that, that you're going to have like this big pivotal dark night of the soul type of situation, and things are going to happen to you where all of a sudden you're going to wake up. You're going to have like some level of awakening because of some reason outside of your, control. That happened. And so it sort of rocked the boat a little bit. But what I love is I just heard a sermon here, or like a podcast / sermon, talking about that we're entering into Pisces season, and that it's the water season of flow, which feminine flow, all right arrows, that sounds good to me. Sounds like I'm heading in the right direction. But that we're also into the holiday for the Jewish holiday of Purim. And I loved the tie back to any kind of biblical stories or whatever. And it's the story of Queen Esther. I don't know if any of you guys know anything about that biblical story in the Old Testament, but a remarkable character, Queen Esther, basically saved her people, the Jewish people. But it's also known as like the time of miracles. And it's having that faith, learning to know yourself really, really helps explain some of the external things around you that aren't going your way, but you don't understand why. Intensity to this day and age of possibilities. And I love the idea that there's hidden miracles down below us, swimming around us like the Pisces, fish in the sea, that are just waiting for us. And on that topic of faith, that was one of the things they hit on in this podcast that I heard, that, with regards to the current holiday, the Jewish holiday, and that the whole point of being in relationship with God is to have the assurance, not just belief, but just a knowing, an absolute knowing and assurance that He is always guiding you, and that there are miracles surrounding you. But as with many things, we don't see all the things that are around us because we're too focused on what's not going right, or what we don't want, that we don't always see what's going on around us that we do want. And so she was really kind of going down a rabbit hole with this topic, and it was just such a great reminder. And I just loved that they stop everything for this holiday to really take note of just the miracle of the season for them, again with Queen Esther, but how that transports itself or translates to the current season that we are in. That, again, if you know anything about astrology and the water signs, I don't know very much. I just know Pisces is a water sign, and it's flowing in that, flowing like the ocean. And just because we can't see what's down underneath on the bottom of the ocean, that doesn't mean that there's not life and richness and all kinds of things going on underneath there. It's just that we can't see it. We are only programmed to see what could potentially go wrong instead of what might go right and what we can believe in. And so it has just really helped foster my relationship back again with God, understanding Him. Not that I ever left my position with Him, but I did start to get frustrated, like, why are you hiding your face from me type of thing. But really it was more about a journey that He needed to take me on. And now, knowing all of these other modalities, it really brings the entire puzzle together. That's why, even though some people frown on knowing all of these other mindset things about your life, or astrology, or whatever, human design, I don't care. I don't care, because what it did was inform my relationship with God and helped me understand that there was always a divine design for my journey. And I love that. I simply love that. I love knowing that. So walking in faith in this season of miracles, the same applies to you. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean that it is not going on around you. And really all it requires is your knowing and walking in your assurance that God's going to keep showing up. God is going to stack the deck in your favor every time. And she said something to that effect as well. And that just landed so well for me. And I just wanted to share that with you because it's just so resonant and people need hope these days, and I know I'm one of them. There's always been a divine plan. So all of the chaos that has been going on, all the open centers that I have, all of the chaos gates that I have, the number 3 profile, that could make me mad now that I know what I know. And it probably has made me just a touch salty for a little while, at times. But it's just such a blessing because once I do know, I'm tasked to tell others. I'm tasked to lead others because I can speak from authority. I don't have to speak on theory. I've lived it. I understand it. I understand the sadness when things don't work out. I understand the heartbreak when you feel unseen, unvalidated, unjustly attacked. I understand all of that, like in real life. And so I'm uniquely qualified to help you. So if you're still here, that makes me happy. That makes me feel alive. It makes me feel purposed, that maybe I can kind of share with you some of the things that seem obvious, but really are big life lessons that may be obstacles for you that you can't see, but since I had to go through them myself, I can more clearly see them. So I would love to be able to help you. I'm even trying to pull together a small group of people who really want to see their way clear to the life that they want. Not in a magical, necessarily woo-woo kind of way, but understanding the practical makeup of you, what it all means, and that we truly are divinely ordered. Our lives are divinely ordered. We are divinely developed by a higher power. I believe that is God, the God of the Bible. And there is a remarkable end game for your life. So stay tuned if that interests you. I would love to be able to encourage you. I would love to be able to point out, I'm pretty candid. Sometimes I can be blunt, but in a kind way. Just sometimes I can see things that maybe others can't. I have unwittingly become an expert at seeing patterns, whether it's thought patterns, life patterns, attitude patterns, inner talk patterns. I can see that with a keen, ice cold eye, which normally we all have blind spots to our own life. And I don't know, I've just been gifted with being able to see that, and gifted with being able to clear space for intuition, because remember, I am all right arrows. I go by intuition, so I only move when I am led to move. And so sometimes I go quiet because I'm not supposed to be active. So I would love to have you along with me, just for a small pilot group of people who think like this and want more and different for their life.